Venerable Moggallāna, Moggallāna. Foremost in supernatural powers, leader of the Sangha. Like a mountain. Steadfast and unshaken. The pure and noble one amidst life. All defilements fall away in succession. The dust of the world cannot stain the sky. 1. Childhood. Venerable Moggallāna was born in a small village near the capital Patna of the Magadha kingdom, now located in the Indian state of Bihar. He had a close friend, Venerable Sariputta. From a young age, the two were inseparable, like a shadow accompanying its form. Despite their slightly differing personalities, their bond was free of disagreement or animosity. Both were born into noble, wealthy families and received a complete traditional education rooted in the Brahmin faith. By the age of 20, both Moggallāna and Sariputta had earned widespread renown in the region for their talents and virtues. However, even as they were surrounded by all the good things life could offer, both felt a deep yearning quietly growing within their hearts. This yearning gradually distanced them from worldly ambitions and drove them towards seeking an eternal spiritual path. One warm spring day, the two attended a traditional regional festival. The event was vibrant and lively, filled with countless games and music. Everywhere sparkled with color, and captivating theatrical performances entertained the crowd. The two friends were invited as honorary guests. The performances unfolded one after another, scenes of fierce battles, petty everyday stories, the oppressed rising against their oppressors, victors celebrating, and losers lamenting, glory and bloodshed, betrayal and heroism, good battling evil, all played out vividly on the stage, pieced together into a kaleidoscope of life. The actors performed with passion, laughing and crying in turn with their characters. Witnessing these scenes, Moggallāna and Sariputta found themselves consumed by reflections on the falseness, emptiness, and fleeting nature of human existence. This led them to make the momentous decision to renounce worldly life and become wandering ascetics in search of ultimate truth. Inspired by their unwavering will and determination, many young men from their village joined them on their journey. 2. The journey to seek the truth. At first, the two young monks sought out Sanjaya, a renowned Brahmin teacher of the time. Sanjaya practiced meditation and had achieved certain spiritual powers, which earned him a large following of disciples. However, he advocated a philosophy of relativism, asserting that nothing was absolute. According to him, things could be true at one moment and false at another. He taught his followers to live without attachment, neither dwelling on the past nor aspiring for the future, neither seeking liberation nor concerning themselves with life and death. The two young monks diligently followed his teachings, though their hearts remained troubled with many unresolved questions. In a short time, they surpassed their teacher, and they realized their journey with him had come to an end. Thus began their quest, wandering through the scorching lands of India in search of spiritual teachers. Although the dream of liberation and enlightenment seemed distant and uncertain, Moggallāna and Sariputta continued their relentless journey, their feet unwearied. Upon returning to Magadha, the two parted ways, making a vow: whoever finds the path to immortality first will immediately inform the other. By that time, the Buddha had already turned the wheel of Dharma and dispatched his first messengers to spread the teachings. One day, as Moggallāna sat in contemplation, Sariputta came to him, his face glowing with unparalleled joy. There was an extraordinary beauty about him that Moggallāna had never seen before. He sensed that his friend had undergone a profound inner transformation. Sariputta then recounted his encounter with a serene and composed ascetic named Assaji, one of the disciples of Lord Buddha Gautama of the Sakya clan. Moggallāna listened intently, captivated by every word his friend shared. When the following verse was recited: all phenomena arise from causes and they cease due to causes. The great sage has proclaimed this truth, such is the teaching of the Supreme. At that moment, Moggallāna experienced a sudden awakening. His mind was illuminated, and all doubts vanished. He knew without question that this was the path of truth, the gateway to enlightenment that had opened before him. In that instant, Moggallāna attained the first stage of sainthood, becoming a stream enterer, Sotapanna. Just like his friend, this newfound joy spurred them to hurry to Venerable Monastery, Bamboo Grove, to meet Lord Buddha. Yet, they first resolved to visit their teacher Sanjaya out of respect, as they had once been his disciples. Moggallāna and Sariputta earnestly entreated their teacher to accompany them to meet Lord Buddha, hoping he too would find the light of truth. However, Sanjaya, entangled in his attachment to fame and wealth, declined. He argued that as someone older than the Buddha, he could not lower himself to become a disciple. Disheartened but resolute, the two monks bowed to their teacher before departing, followed by many of his disciples. In no time, the group arrived at Venerable Monastery. The simple beauty of the bamboo grove radiated serenity. Amidst a large yet solemn assembly, the Buddha was teaching the Dharma. Seeing the two monks approach from afar, the Buddha paused and said, "Here come Sariputta and Moggallāna. Truly a pair of friends blessed with great merit. Come to me." The Buddha then ordained them and their followers into the Sangha. Venerable Moggallāna chose a small cave on a mountain near Kalevala village as his retreat for deep meditation. However, his efforts were hindered by persistent drowsiness, which obstructed his progress. Observing this, the Buddha appeared before him through divine powers and recited a verse, "One who extinguishes the darkness of ignorance from countless cycles of existence, who breaks free from Mara's snare, I call such a one victorious." Awakened and reinvigorated, Moggallāna attained enlightenment. From that moment, another enlightened being emerged in the world, one who would use his extraordinary spiritual powers to bring great benefit to all sentient beings. 3. Leaders of the Sangha. A week after his ordination, Venerable Moggallāna attained arahantship, the ultimate state of liberation. Exactly 1 week later, Venerable Sariputta also achieved absolute enlightenment. Together, they prostrated at the feet of the Blessed One. The karmic bond of many lifetimes had come to fruition. The Buddha called all the monks to gather at the monastery. Once the assembly was complete and solemn, he declared, "Sariputta and Moggallāna have attained full liberation as arahants. For countless lifetimes, they have vowed to support the Tathagata. From now on, I entrust the leadership of the Sangha to these two." This was a momentous event. 3 years after the Buddha had first set the wheel of Dharma in motion at the Deer Park in Sarnath, the Sangha had grown into a vast community, numbering thousands of monks, including many highly respected arahants such as the 5 brothers, led by Kandana, Venerable Yasa, and Elder Yaruvala Kassapa. The Buddha's decision to appoint 2 young monks, ordained just 2 weeks earlier, as the leaders of the Sangha was a clear affirmation of their exceptional abilities and virtues. Everyone rejoiced and praised the decision. Those who had already attained enlightenment were especially delighted, knowing that these two would assist the Buddha, allowing him more time for teaching and guiding sentient beings. Under their leadership, the Sangha flourished. People from all corners of the land came to hear the Buddha's teachings. Pilgrims sought refuge at the monastery. Spiritual seekers came in search of the path. Kings and officials visited to pay their respects, and householders eagerly awaited opportunities to invite the monks to their homes for almsgiving. All were welcomed and cared for with meticulous attention. The monastery facilities were well organized and convenient. Small bamboo huts provided peaceful retreats for meditation. Spacious lecture halls accommodated teaching sessions, and stone benches in the shade served as places for monks to discuss the Dharma. Every path, fence, and row of trees was arranged harmoniously. Personal necessities were always provided promptly, whether a monk needed a blanket, a replacement robe, or a quiet period for intense meditation. If one monk dedicated himself to solitary practice, others would share the burden of alms rounds to ensure no one was neglected. When a monk fell ill, Moggallāna and Sariputta would personally inquire about his condition and arrange care. New monks, often struggling with the transition to monastic life, received thoughtful and compassionate guidance. The leaders cared for the physical and emotional well-being of each member of the large sangha, their love and attention surpassing even familial bonds. They were like elder brothers and close companions, deeply cherishing their fellow practitioners. As a result, the sangha thrived in harmony and stability. While the monks immersed themselves in study and practice, they often overlooked the quiet, tireless contributions of their two leaders. Only the Buddha fully understood their efforts, frequently praising them in his teachings. All Buddhas of the past have had two chief disciples by their side. For the Tathagata, Sariputta and Moggallāna are those two exemplary disciples. Sariputta was the embodiment of wisdom, grace, and subtlety, living a life that never offended anyone. Moggallāna, on the other hand, displayed extraordinary strength, embodying stern discipline and orderliness that brought the sangha into proper alignment. Venerable Moggallāna was like a firm protector of the Dharma. His presence deterred wrongdoing, and his admonitions guided the monks to maintain strict discipline. He openly expressed the sangha's positions to other sects and addressed mistakes among his peers with honesty. His efforts safeguarded the sangha from schemes of division, fostering an environment of unity and harmony. On one occasion, when Sariputta was falsely accused, Moggallāna immediately convened the assembly to investigate and clarify the matter. In another instance, he firmly expelled a group of 6 unruly monks who refused to reform. Even when Devdutta led a faction of monks away in rebellion, it was Sariputta and Moggallāna who persuaded them to return. They eloquently extolled the unparalleled greatness of the Buddha, opening the eyes of those who had been misled. Their efforts brought these monks back to the true path of the Dharma, restoring unity and strengthening faith in the sangha. 4. Foremost in supernatural powers. In Buddhism, the concept of supernatural powers is neither unfamiliar nor considered mere fantasy. When one attains the arahantship, they simultaneously achieve the threefold knowledge and the 6 supernatural powers, abhina. Extraordinary capabilities arising naturally as one progresses through meditative states. However, during the Buddha's time, he strictly prohibited his disciples from using these powers carelessly, as they were not the ultimate purpose of spiritual practice. Venerable Moggallāna was the sole exception to this rule. Not only was he permitted to use his powers, but the Buddha also praised him as foremost in supernatural powers because it was tied to his karmic purpose and spiritual vows. Across many past lifetimes, Venerable Moggallāna had repeatedly risked his life to save others, using extraordinary abilities for the benefit of beings while remaining humble and refraining from showing off. As a result, upon attaining arahantship, he simultaneously acquired immense courage and supernatural powers that resonated throughout the cosmos. When the Buddha ascended to the Triastriya heaven for 3 months to teach his mother and the celestial beings there, Venerable Moggallāna acted as the bridge between heaven and earth, relaying the Buddha's invaluable teachings to humans. He could conjure 1,000 floating palaces in the sky or illuminate the entire 3,000-fold world system with a single radiance. With his unparalleled abilities, Venerable Moggallāna traveled freely across the universe, as effortlessly as an athlete bending or extending their arm. He could instantly appear in celestial realms, the realms of Asuras, hungry ghosts, or even the hells. Through his pure divine vision, the karmic conditions of countless beings became crystal clear. the scope and wonder of Venerable Moggallāna's supernatural powers were both vast and awe-inspiring, drawing all beings toward the Dharma. According to the discourse on the extinction of craving, he once used just his big toe to shake the celestial palace of heavenly beings who had become overly absorbed in pleasures, neglecting their spiritual practice. On another occasion, a Brahma deity arrogantly believed no monk or Brahmin could reach his realm. Observing this mistaken thought, the Buddha and his chief disciples appeared before the deity, and Venerable Moggallāna delivered a profound teaching to enlighten him. Impressed by Moggallāna's mind-reading ability, thought-reading power, divine eye, and divine ear, Venerable Sariputta often praised his dear friend and companion, compared to the supernatural powers of Venerable Moggallāna. I am like a small pebble at the foot of the mighty Himalayas. In turn, Venerable Moggallāna humbly responded with heartfelt gratitude before Venerable Sariputta. I am like a pinch of salt beside a large jar of salt. The two noble figures would then smile warmly, deeply cherishing the mutual respect and camaraderie they shared. 5. The exemplary disciple of the Buddha. On many occasions during his teachings, the Blessed One publicly praised, "Draw near to Sariputta and Moggallāna. They are wise and virtuous, they will inspire and guide those who share the holy life." And further, if a monk with faith seeks a model, let him aspire to be like Sariputta and Moggallāna, for they are the standard of measure among monks. As a devoted disciple, Venerable Moggallāna's highest purpose in life was to assist, propagate, and safeguard the mission of the Blessed One, ensuring his teachings reached far and wide, enduring for the benefit of all sentient beings. Venerable Moggallāna fulfilled this sacred vow with extraordinary dedication. He often organized profound discussions on the Dharma with other eminent arahants, such as Sariputta, Mahākassapa, and Anuruddha. These dialogues helped countless monks and lay followers resolve doubts and clarify the subtleties of the Buddha's teachings. Throughout his journeys across the 3,000-fold world system, Venerable Moggallāna adapted his teachings to the conditions of each being he encountered. His Dharma talks transcended the differences in karma among sentient beings, be they impoverished or mighty kings, suffering in the hell realms, or enjoying bliss in heavenly realms. Like a refreshing rain nourishing the parched earth, his teachings brought immense blessings and joy to all beings, sowing seeds of happiness and righteousness in the Dharma. Because of this, whenever the Buddha needed to attend to other matters or take rest, he often entrusted Venerable Moggallāna or Venerable Sariputta to teach in his place. The Buddha once said, "Venerable Sariputta is like a birth mother who brings a child into the world, while Venerable Moggallāna is like a foster mother who raises the child to maturity. One leads beings to stream entry, while the other guides them to the highest attainment." From this analogy, we gain deeper insight into the unique roles and karmic connections of each disciple. Venerable Sariputta was the one who sowed countless seeds of holiness in the world, while his close companion, Venerable Moggallāna, nurtured those seeds, allowing them to grow into a lush, verdant forest of wisdom and liberation.